Hello, friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. All right, it's voting day today, so first thing I think I'm going to do today is go down and vote. We got to do that. I was very successful yesterday going down to the election office and verifying that I was eligible to vote. I kind of figured that because I signed up for that when I got my driver's license, and I've been getting kind of campaign literature in the mail, so they obviously know I'm here. So I was also able to get information on what the different ballot propositions were, and both local and statewide. There's about 10 different ballot propositions that that are on the ballot, plus a local one about the zoo. I guess they want more funding for the zoo, so I'm gonna go do that. And like I said, I also found out where I'm supposed to go, which is important. Like I said yesterday, a lot of times when the ballot, in California, I would have, a sample ballot sent to me in the mail, and a big thick booklet full of all the propositions and stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't get any of that this year. They gave me when I went down to the election office, they just gave me a little sheet of paper that listed all the different propositions that were on the ballot this year, and just a real brief summary, but didn't really give any debate on the issue. So I spent a little time this morning actually reviewing each of the individual ballot propositions so I could make informed decisions. So anyway, let's go down and get our voting done, and then, like I said, I'm not sure what we're going to do for a video today, so we'll just kind of figure that out as we go along. Let's go. All right. I voted, so we got that done. We're going to go home and figure out what the rest of the day is going to look like. Decide what we're going to do for a video today. Yeah, it was a good line in there. It probably took about 20 minutes. I'm not used to seeing lines in California, although I usually go kind of in the middle of the day, and, maybe that's just because that's when I do that, and it's not much of a line there. But, a lot of people here voting, so that's a good thing. All right, I chose to do another cemetery vlog today, and I actually chose this particular cemetery for a very specific reason, and it'll become obvious when you see my vlog tomorrow. It turned out that I figured there might be just too much content to do in one day, so I decided to come and do the cemetery part of this today. And while we're here, we'll just do a general walking around and looking at this place, because you know what, I love old cemeteries. I think I've said that once or 20 times before. So let's go in and look around. Little ladybug action here. And as is the case of most cemeteries in Texas, they're all kind of historical landmarks. This one apparently was set up for pioneer settlers in the area by Daniel Errol. And interestingly enough, he's buried here, right here, in this little squared in section here. We'll go look at his grave a little bit later. But it was set up in December of 1888 in conjunction with the sale of 60 acres of land to financier General Grenville M. Dodge. He had the property plated as for the town of Lorena, which developed along the line of the Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad. Dodge named the village for Lorena Westbrook Robertson, also buried here, who is the daughter and local landowner C.A. Westbrook. Now, the railroad line that they're talking about is literally right here along the front half of the cemetery. So let's go wander around and see what we can find. So right here in the back corner is the grave of Daniel Errol, the gentleman who bought this land and donated it to the cemetery. And then all of the family is also here. Mary Ellen, Ira, David. This was a really early one. 1887 for death. Elvin, son of L and M Errol. And here's Daniel's son, Van D. Errol. And I'm guessing Van D's wife. Faith Hope Charity Sharon, born and died November 21, 1900. Must have been a stillborn or died shortly after birth. That's sad. Seems to be a lot of tragedy in the Sharon family. Here's another one that died a couple days after his 6th birthday, his or her 6th birthday. And here's another one that died about age 2. A lot of tragedy in this family. Some of these graves, as is not uncommon, are very, very hard to read, but it appears that this one was born in 1890 and died in 1892. Another one that was very, very young. So this is the grave of Jackie Poole, a 9-year-old kid who I guess is the second resident of this cemetery. We're going to see if we can find the first one. Lucindy R. Turner, died in 1886, 44 years old. Mary Halpayne, died in 1946. I'm guessing this was her husband. I'm assuming she had a standing grave marker as well, but at some point it got destroyed and they modified it to do this with it. Yeah, here's the grave marker of the first occupant, 2-year-old Lemuel R. Crook. And then I guess this is either the father or the mother. Died 1896. Eudora Albion, infant son of Reverend and Kate Smith, born February 1 and died March 25, looks like 1889. Lived for about a month. That's sad. So many children in this cemetery. Allie Ruth Young, born 1908, died 1919, 11 years old. Lottie F. Bean, born 1889, died 1895, 6 years old, 5.5 years old. E.G. Murphy and his wife P.A. Murphy, died 1890 and 1915 respectively. It's kind of interesting because along the real old grave markers there's also some very recent ones. 1960, I mean that isn't that recent, but look at how long that person lived. 1867 to 1960. 93 years old. Rachel C. Smith. And then we have this one that's really hard to even read. I guess that's Sadie Griffin, born 1885, died 1900. A little bit of insect life there, chilling out. Never seen anything quite like that, so that's an interesting looking bug. Another Confederate soldier, William D. Smith, born 1840, died 1912. And his wife, Eliza Bates Smith, born 1845, died 1928. And I'm guessing this was their son, Edgar W. Smith, born 1880, died 1899, 19 years old. And their daughter, Alva, born 1894, died 1895. Boy, infant mortality was a big issue here. They died young in these days. Mabel Ballantine, born 1902, died 1907. All the young kids in this place is really kind of bringing me down. Leander Spain, born 1884, died 1899, 15 years old. I.A. Spain, I'm assuming that's Leander's mom or dad, not sure which. Born 1862, died 1919. Just because W.R. Stewart, and I'm assuming his wife, Eddie Stewart. 1897 and 1929. Like I said, it's really interesting how the old gravestones are just kind of mixed in with the more recent ones. Aaron and Virginia Brown, and this one's got the footstones too, Mama and Papa. That marker just seems to have fallen down. I don't know, is it appropriate to set it back up again? I don't know the etiquette about that, but I did it anyway. It was heavy too, holy cow. David L. Henson, World War II vet. Died 1952. Just as an afterthought, look at how old he would have been during World War II. Born in 1906, and World War II was, 1940, 1945. So he would have been in his mid-30s. It's pretty old for a person serving in the active military. A lot of these flags that are just kind of laying down just don't seem like they were planted very well, so I'm kind of putting them into the ground a little deeper. Maybe they'll stay up. Ernest and Mary Bartlett died in 1962 and 2007. Like I said, it's really interesting how there's just a mix of really, really old and really, really recent graves in this cemetery. Because just 2 over from that last grave is this one. Another child. George Clark, 1890, 1892. And actually it's January 1890 to August 1892, so 2.5 years, 2 years, 8 months, something like that. And a broken marker, I'm not going to do anything with that because I think that needs to be repaired. And it looks like somebody's tried to repair it once and it didn't take, because that's like some sort of glue. So I'm going to let somebody who knows what they're doing take care of that. Infant Foster, September 3rd, born September 3rd, 1903, died September 4th, 1903. And I'm assuming this is another infant from the Foster family, because we have a lot of early deaths here. Infant. Lasted a little over a year. So an interesting collection of graves here. This is Mary Ann Clark, died September 2nd, 1900, and her son, who also died very shortly after being born. Got to wonder if there was a connection between something that went wrong in labor and resulted in the mom's death, and then the son died later. Kind of an interesting shaped grave marker here. One of those woodman stones. S.T. Owens. No, actually this is the Sarah E. Owens, wife of S.T. Owens, 1876-1906. 30 years old. Interesting grave marker. Another one of those Woodman of the World really interesting memorials. M.E. Witt, born 1880, died 1917. Elizabeth and William May, and their World War II veteran son, I'm guessing, and his younger brother, who apparently died before he was even born. William and Hazel Strachey. Apparently Hazel just passed away a few months ago. Yeah, I'm not even going to try and set that one up. That's way too much work for one person. That's going to be several people going to take to fix that. Robert Swain, another Army veteran, this time Vietnam. I've seen a number of graves that have things like this planted in the ground. I'm not sure what that is. Is it a plant? It's attached to the ground somehow. I don't know. If any of you know what that is, you know, put it in the comments section because I'm curious. There's a few of them around here. A little reluctant to walk in this area. You don't know if you're going to fall in. Yeah, there's a few of them here. You got to wonder if they're not like putting the caskets in a crypt or something like that. Another veteran, Air Force, World War II, First Lieutenant James Lee McCarty. Gotta say, this is one of the more elaborately marked graves around here. Look at all the shells in there. The solar powered flowers, and obviously they were out here for Halloween. Herbert and Nell Myatt. Look at that. They were married in 1944. So yeah, that's a long time. 57 years almost. Look at all the Halloween decorations on this one. Yeah, that's what I want my grave to look like, just for future reference. So this sure is a beautiful cemetery. I'm actually glad I came out to see this. You'll have to actually tune in tomorrow to see exactly why I came to this specific cemetery. But that is all I think I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.